So I'll start my row of sheets here. I got my line snapped at 48.5 off the two corners. Snapped it across. Now if I put this first sheet flush over here and on that 48.5 line, then it should end up landing exactly half on this joist. And then they're all laid out 8 feet from there, so it should land half on this joist. And then I got a 4-footer left. So I'll sheet my first row, and then I'll take my whole stack of sheets and stack it up here. There's the first 2 sheets down. The second sheet landed to here, so I'll just measure what I got at the end, and then I'll cut this piece. Actually, I'm gonna have to put some insulation in here first, because my window point loads ended up being right here and here, so I gotta fill that with insulation first. But my sheet will be 47.25. And you can check it to see how square you are. You can check it here. I'm 47.25, and then check it here. I'm also 47.25. So I got my 47.25 cut. I put down some glue on there. I'll put this sheet down and screw this whole row down. There's the first row on and screwed. Now I'm gonna snap my back line because I might as well do it right now. I'll just measure in 5.5, 5.5 that side, snap that line. It's 5.5 and not 5 7/8 because I'm gonna sheet the back of this with 3/8 OSB, same with the wall. So the wall plate of the 2x6 is 5.5, so I'll come in 5.5 off the rim board and snap that line right now. So here's day 4. I stayed last night and pulled up all those sheets. It only took like 10 minutes. And now I'll sheet the rest of this floor, and then the crane's coming later with the walls. So I'll have to sheet the floor, snap it out, and then we'll stand the walls later today. So there's all the sheets on the floor. I had to do that quick because the crane's coming soon. Now I'm just gonna have to snap out my lines quick, and then I can trim off all the outside pieces, trim out the stairwell, and then the crane should be here with the walls. I'll snap it out the same way I snapped out the foundation, except instead of coming in 1 5/8 on the side, I'll come in 5 7/8. That's 5.5 inches for the 2x6, and then 3/8 of an inch for the OSB. Well, actually it'll be 5.5 inches in from the rim board, because the rim board's already 3/8 in from that outside. So I'll snap this in 5.5. And I'll make my 5-foot mark, well, 5 foot 5.5, and then I'll come in off that back corner 5.5 and snap it all the way across. So I hooked on the rim board 5.5, and then I marked 5 foot 5.5, and I'll mark 5 feet. So I mark the same back here, 5.5 and 5 feet, 5 foot 5.5. And I'll mark it down there, come in 5.5, and then I'll see how these 3 points line up front to back. So I have my line at the back at 5.5. I'll hook my chalk line on. And I want to hit this line here, but I'm gonna go all the way to here. Go to this line. I'm gonna hold it there, and then I'm gonna check if it's on the line over there. I'll have to put another nail in here that'll hold it. So the string's hooked on over there, it's hooked on at the front, and it hits this line exactly where I wanted it. So I'll snap that, and then I'll snap it another 5.5 this way, and that's where I can cut it off. And then from there I'll just take my measurements off of this line this way for all the side walls on the other side, and then I'll do the same at the back. I have the line at the back, I'll just measure this way and snap all those out. Okay, everything's all snapped out and trimmed. The crane's here, just waiting on the walls now. They should be here any minute. I also cut this plywood back the inch for that rock salt gap. I'll stand all these with the crane. I'll stand all these ones by myself tomorrow. They're all smaller ones, so I'll be able to stand all those. For the stairwell walls like this, It's gonna have the same thing, the 20-foot wall like the last house I did, except this is only 6'8" wide, not 20 feet like that other one I did. So these ones, they're gonna get pre-built too, but we'll stand them after I put the second floor on, and then we'll do all the second floor walls and then put this tall wall in at the same time. Same thing with the one over there. Be another 20-foot tall wall over here. It'll go from that foundation all the way to the second floor, and then it'll have the door down there so that you can go into the basement. So this is where the stairs will go down to a landing, and then the door will be there at the top of the landing, and then it'll be one more step down to there, and then another step into the basement. So the walls went a little faster on this house. I just finished the floor and then the walls show up and extend all the walls. Only took a couple hours. So this is why they wanted me to do this paper like this, because I got the poly on the inside going down. It's going to tie into the poly on the frost wall, and it goes into this paper here, and then this paper runs up, goes to here, goes back into the house, and then this goes up, and then when they poly this wall, it'll tie into the paper there. So they think it's gonna make a perfect seal to go around here and then into the basement and tie into that poly. But if it rains or anything until then the water can just go down and it'll run right into the basement. But this is not my idea. And then this paper here on the wall will come down over top of this, and then the water will run off. So that's why I had to do all that. Some of you guys are asking if the DeWalt gun is working again because it's warm now. I thought the problem with this was that it was just too cold and it wasn't working in the cold, but now that it warmed up, I can't even get this to fire a single nail. Watch, it runs. All I get is a click out of it, even if I push it in and then pull the trigger. I just bought this thing in September. I only put about 5-6 boxes of nails through it. That's about 2,000 a box. 12,000 nails through this thing and it's just done. This thing I've had for like 10 years and it's still, this is the one I dropped off the roof. Dropped it off the roof a ton of times and it still works. These things always work. You can't break them. These things, I don't know. I've taken it apart, cleaned it out, checked the springs and it looked good. They look brand new. Everything about it inside looks brand new, but I can't get it to fire one single shot. So I'm sticking with this. Even though this is more expensive because you have to buy the fuel cells, it's worth it because it shoots 100 times better than this. So tomorrow I'll stand the rest of these walls and then I can brace it all up and then I can start joisting the second floor. As long as the joists show up. They're supposed to be here tomorrow morning. Then I'll finish the second floor while the other guy builds the walls, and then we'll stand the second floor walls. But now it's time for a beer.